This session is about elections. So we have to go through two different algorithms for election. Those are ring-based election algorithm, then Bully algorithm. So before moving into the algorithms, let us think about what is actually election algorithm. So any algorithm for choosing a unique process to play a particular role is called an election algorithm. Just for example, we have learned the central server algorithm for mutual exclusion, right? In that, the server is to be chosen from among the set of n processes. For that, we can use an election algorithm. So it is essential that all the processes in the set should agree on the choice. And any process can call the election algorithm. Just for example, if a process detects that the central server has failed, it can invoke an election algorithm. An individual process does not call more than one election at a time. At any time, only one invocation can be done by any process. Anyway, n different processes can have n concurrent election runs. All of them can invoke their own election algorithms. And the processes can be divided into two categories at any point of time. It can be either participant or non-participant in the algorithm. So if a process is a participant, that means that process is currently engaged in some run of the election algorithm. And if it is non-participant, that means at that point of time, that process is not currently engaged in any election. So the most important requirement for this election algorithm is that even if there are several processes which call the election algorithm concurrently, the final choice or the final output should be the same. That means all the invocations should elect the same process. For example, two processes could decide independently that a coordinated process has failed and both of them can call the election algorithm. Finally, they both should select the same process as the next coordinator. So ensure such a requirement, usually the process with the largest identifier will be elected. Identifiers can be any useful value as long as the identifiers are unique and they are totally ordered among all the set of processes. Just for example, we could elect the process with the lowest computational load. So in that case, we can use the pair as the identifier for each process. This 1 by load, I can be treated as the identifier for a process where load is always greater than 0 and I is the process index. So this I will be useful in case of where two different processes have the same load. In that case, we can select the process with the largest process index I. So if we are using this pair as the identifier for a process, we can always select the process with the lowest computational load. Each process Pi has a variable called elected I, which will contain the identifier of the elected process. So when a process first becomes a participant in an election algorithm, it just sets this value of this variable elected I to some special value, say null, to denote that it is not yet defined. So during any particular run of the algorithm, two different requirements are to be met by any election algorithm. Those are E1, that is safety property or safety requirement, and second one is E2 or liveness requirement. Safety requirement insists that only one process is elected. So each participant, as we know, we have a variable called elected I, right? That should be set either to P or to the undefined value, that is nil or something like that, if it does not know the elected process yet. Where P is the participant with the largest process ID. That means if two different algorithms or two different processes invoke the algorithm simultaneously and both set the value of the elected I to some value, that should be P, where P is the process with the largest identifier. Otherwise, that elected I should be the special value which was initialized. And the second requirement, that is liveness requirement, insists that all processes should participate and either set the value of elected I as the elected process or it crash. That means all the processes should agree upon the new coordinator by participating in the elected process, unless otherwise they crashed. So how to measure the performance of these election algorithms? So as you have seen in the last session, we can use the same measures here also. Those are bandwidth utilization and turnaround time. So in case of this selection algorithms, the bandwidth utilization is the total network bandwidth utilization, which is proportional to the total number of messages sent during the election algorithm. And the turnaround time, which is the number of serialized message transmission times between the initiation and termination of a single run. That much time delay will be taken as the turnaround time. Now coming to the different algorithms used for this election, those are ring-based algorithm and Bully algorithm. First let us go through this ring-based algorithm. So two different assumptions are taken here, that is there is no failures in the system and system is always asynchronous. And this type of algorithm, that is ring-based algorithm, is suitable for a collection of processes which are arranged in a logical ring. So those are arranged in a logical ring. That means each process Pi has a communication channel to the next process in the ring, that is Pi plus 1 mod n, that will be the neighbor of this process Pi in the clockwise direction. So all messages are sent clockwise around the ring. So let us get into the algorithm. Before that, each process Pi keeps two variables, participant I and elected I. Participant I just marks whether that process currently is participating in any election algorithm, and elected I store the identity of the coordinator once the election is over. Like that, two different types of messages are there in the election algorithm here. One is election message and the second one is elected message. Election message just to indicate that election is going on. If a process wants to initiate an election, it will just forward an election message with its own identifier. Like that, elected message to indicate that the election is over and just to reveal the identity of the coordinator. Now the algorithm, initially all the processes will mark themselves as non-participants by assigning the value false into corresponding participant I variable, and elected I will be the special value, that is nil here. Now any process Pi can initiate an election, it can invoke an election run. It can do so by setting the participant value of its own as true. Okay, then it sends a message which is a pair, an election message together with its own process identifier Pi to its immediate neighbor. This is how a process invokes an election algorithm. Now when a process receives an election message from a process, say for example here the process Pj receives an election message with an identifier Pi, what are the different steps to be followed? We can see it step by step. So this process Pj compare its process ID with the received identifier, and if the received identifier is greater, that is Pi is greater than Pj, the process will just forward the corresponding message to its neighbor and then mark itself as a participant of this algorithm. That is done by setting participant j as true here and then forward the corresponding message to its neighbor. The next condition is if Pi is less than Pj, that is received identifier is lower and this process is not a participant of the algorithm already. In that case, just send an election message by substituting its identifier in place of the received identifier. This Pi is replaced by Pj and then forward the corresponding message to its neighbor. Then it will mark it as a participant of this algorithm. Next situation is if Pi is equal to Pj, that means the received ID is same as that of the receiver itself. That means this is the coordinator actually. That is how this condition happens. So the election procedure is over here. So elected variable can be set as Pj and the participant, it can be marked as a not participant by setting the value of participant j as false because the election process is over. Now the communication to other processes is the remaining thing. Next send a message, elected message with its own identifier to reveal that it is a new coordinator and then send this message to its neighbor. Now when a process receives an elected message, so elected message is received when the election is over and the new coordinator is already declared. So here the process Pi receives a message, elected message with a ID Pj. That means the coordinator, now new elected one, or the coordinator is Pg. So upon receiving such a message, first the process Pi will mark as non-participant by setting the value of participant I as false. Then it will change the value of the variable elected I as Pj, where Pj is the new coordinator, ID is received in the elected message. Now, unless it is the new coordinator, it will just forward the message to its neighbor. That means if Pi naught is equal to Pj, when the received identifier is the same as that of itself, that means the received one is the new coordinator, right? That means one cycle is over by informing all other, because this elected message is initiated by this coordinator itself and it is receiving back to the coordinator itself. That is, one cycle is over, so all others are informed about the election and all others are set their corresponding elected I as a new coordinator. So the election procedure is over. So just discard the corresponding received message. Otherwise, just forward the corresponding message to the neighbors. Now let us see an example for this election algorithm. We have a set of processes which are arranged as a logical ring. So initially all these processes will be marked as non-participant in the algorithm, and elected I for all those processes will be a special value, say nil. And suppose the process 5 wants to invoke the election algorithm. So it will mark itself as a participant of this algorithm and will just send a message, election message, to its immediate neighbor, that is 16, with its own process ID, that is 5. That is the first step. Now upon receiving this message, process 16 will compare the IDs, that is 5 and 16, and will find that its own ID is greater. So it will just substitute the ID, its own ID in the election message, and then mark it as a participant, then forward the corresponding message to 25. So new election message will carry the process ID 16, and the same procedure will be repeated in 25 also. That message with the process ID 25 will be forwarded to 3. And upon receiving this, 3 will find that the received ID is greater. Simply forward the corresponding to the next neighbor and also mark the process 3 as a participant. And this procedure will be repeated till it covers all the nodes, right? And suppose the message received back by 5, and all these processes are of lesser IDs than compared to 25. And what happens when this process 5 receives this 25 election message with ID 25 again? Simply it will just forward, right? Because the ID of the received one is greater, it will just forward, and again it will reach process 25. Receiving this message again, the 25 will find that the ID received is same as that of itself, right? So that means it is a new coordinator. So the steps to be followed here is, the elected I for this process will be 25. It will mark it as a non-participant because the election process is over. Mark it as a non-participant. Then send the message elected, then 25 to the neighbor. Okay. The message is, now the message is elected, then the process ID of the coordinator, that is 25, that will be circulated among all these processes. And when it will stop, again when the process 25 receives this message, it will find that message ID is same as that of itself, then just discard the message. Upon this step, the entire procedure will be over. All of these processes will be intimated about the new coordinator. Just for example, when the elected message is received by 3, it will make itself as a non-participant, and also elected I variable of this 3 will be set as 25. The same thing happens for every process until it reaches again 25, then the message will be discarded. This is how this algorithm works. If we try to analyze the performance of this algorithm using those two measures, that are bandwidth utilization and then turnaround time. So if we analyze this bandwidth utilization, which is the total number of messages transmitted for this algorithm. So in the best case, in case of ring-based algorithm, the process with the largest identifier will be the one which invokes the algorithm. In that case, First n messages will be required to announce the election. Then another n messages will be required, that's the elected message will be required to announce the corresponding coordinator. So totally 2n messages will be required where n is the number of processes. And in the worst case, suppose the anti-clockwise neighbor of a process is the actual coordinator or the process with the largest identifier. That is here in this case 3 is the process which invokes this algorithm. In that case, first n minus 1 messages will be required to reach this neighbor, then n messages will be required to announce the election, another n messages required to announce the elected one or the elected message. So totally 3n minus 1 messages will be required in the worst case. So this is the bandwidth utilization. And the turnaround time also will be the same from the initiation to the completion of this algorithm. In the best case we will require 2n messages and the worst case we will require 3n minus 1 messages. And the main drawback of this algorithm is that it's not at all fault tolerant. Since we arrange all the processes as a logical ring, the break in a circuit will definitely fail the entire system. The Bully algorithm we can see in the next session. Thank you.